Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is week 9 of the at-home curriculum. Theme this week, animal homes. First, though, we're going to start with Cinnamon, who's going to tell you a little bit about STEM and how to make your own STEM box at home.
All right. Thank you, Megan. So yes, like she said, I'm going to tell you a little bit about STEM. And so we'll start off with what it stands for. So STEM is an acronym for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And so it's what schools are using, even preschools are all using to teach children those things. And so Tinkerbox is just an additive to that, which is awesome. And so, oh, you didn't even call it a Tinkerbox, but okay. So a STEM kit and a Tinkerbox, same thing. And so here I have one that's created. So let me just go over it really quick and give you a look at it. So here's just in a plastic container that I have here, and it's full of all types of goodies. And you can literally add anything to it because, when it comes to exploration and children, whatever they can find and use to discover with. So in here I have a strainer, right? We decided this is a strainer. We have some funnels, many different sizes, so that's really fun. It could be fun for water play. There's also some measuring spoons in here. There's a magnifying glass. Something really interesting that I have, and I'll talk a little bit more about in a second, is I have some chrysalis here left over from some butterflies that we had, and so I've been examining them with my magnifying glass. Also, some other cool stuff you can add is any type of water dropper. A single medicine dropper is pretty awesome, works really well for things, and it can be very clean for kids to use. It's pretty easy to use for children. I just have some food coloring in here because when you're exploring, food coloring can come in pretty handy. Some Play-Doh, some skewers, and some coffee stirrers. Also things like little tools like pliers.
Some pliers, yep.
little hammers, which is super cute. I mean, come on, that's adorable. And there's also some tools, small tools that children can handle. And let's not forget about have some magnets here. Oh, sorry about that. Have some magnets here and a magnet wand. And also don't forget about your safety. There are children-sized goggles in here for exploration. So like with all that being said, all this stuff that I talked about, it's a really great way to teach children to explore their environments and, how to see how things work or even decide how things work. Maybe this was their idea that this was going to function this way. And, we could be, building future engineers. So we want to allow them to explore as much as they can. So something I've created here looks a little interesting with my brown Play-Doh that looks like Tootsie Roll. Probably could use Tootsie Roll or marshmallow. You could use marshmallow.
True.
So I've totally used them to stack up a little home for my calf here. So if I want to pretend that this is a farm and I wanted to build a home for my calf, then I go ahead and do so. And then I got my farmer here. And, so that's something that I decided to create with this, but you can do so many things with that. You can even use straws, Q-tips. There's so many things you can add to a Tinkerbox, and it really promotes exploration. And like I was saying before, I have these chrysalis here, and they are, really interesting to look at. If you've never, well, maybe you have never looked at some empty chrysalis, but if you want to catch some bugs and put them in a petri dish, one of those little bug catcher things, and you can really get a look at them and talk about all the different things that you're looking at and that you're seeing, that stuff can be really interesting. There's so much stuff that you could do with all of this. And the key is being present. Parents don't allow their children to do a lot of things based on, whether they think they're capable, whether they think they'll get hurt. But, it's all about you monitoring them and being there with them through it. And so, all these little tools and stuff can be used with your presence. Anything you would like to add to that, Meg?
No, I think that's great. I love the idea of having a dedicated box to it. And so you're pulling it out and saying, let's take out our STEM kits. You're making time for it. So awesome. Yep. I love it.
And take stuff out, put stuff in, swap stuff out, make more than one for different things.
Yep.
But very handy.
Yes. I love it. Thank you so much. And so I'm going to dive a little bit into the theme, animal homes. I'll just show you our letter is K. And so like we talked about, it's made up of line. The letter K. And so animal homes. And so really the idea with this, just even introducing the idea that animals live in homes. And so introducing the word habitat to them, and that explaining different habitats, different parts of the world, different areas, even explaining, let's talk about what different homes that animals live in. What are the characteristics of those homes, the physical characteristics, different things like that. And how do animals adapt to different climates? So they might live in the desert, or they might live in the ocean. And why is that? Why can they only survive in the ocean, not on land? And so diving, depending of course on the child's age, depends on how deep you dive into that. And so some of the art activities that I put together are all animal homes. First one is a nest, a bird's nest. And so you can make this. I just chose yarn to use to make mine. You can make one. You can even go outside and collect stuff. So you might collect twigs, grass, actual things that birds make nests out of, and make your own. And then with all of these animal homes, you can turn them into math activities. So I have this owl here, a bit of an oversized owl for the nest, but I have an owl here. So, but you can print out or make many of these. Maybe you want to make 10, and then you want to ask your child to add 3 birds to the nest. Whoosh, fly them in. There's 3. Now let's take one away. Woo! How many do we have left? 2. And you could do that with all of these different homes.
2.
And 2.
Sound like an owl. Sorry.
I wish I did that on purpose. So something else is I made a little ocean scene, an aquarium scene. And so this was to use, I used a paper plate. You can use the whole paper plate. You can cut around it. Blue background for the water, some seaweed. I used stickers, however you want to make it. Opens up a nice conversation about even the different animals that live in the ocean. So who's on the bottom of the ocean floor? Oh, look at that, a starfish. Oh, maybe we have a crab. What are the animals that come up to the surface for air? Opens up a world of conversations. This is a beehive. I use paint dabbers. You guys can use yellow paint, and you can do fingerprint for the dots. You can do pencil, end of a pencil, or you can just let them have finger paint all over it. And then here's a little bee. That's just a different, I mean, you can make one, you can do printables, anything that you want with that. And the last one I have for you guys is a spider web. And this one, you can cut out the center if you want to make holes, and then have them weave the web into it. And then of course you can add there you can see spider. And so this would be great for their fine motor skills, so really getting them to be able to weave in and out of the holes. Great skill for children to have. And so with Cinnamon talking about science and having that STEM kit, something that you can do, have that magnifying glass available. And so when you go outside, first of all, go outside for a walk and look for animal homes. So you might, you might think you need to live in the middle of the forest to find animal homes. No, you don't. Look up in the sky. I mean, look up in the trees, and you'll see birds' nests. You can see where squirrels live. Ant hills. That's some animal home. You can find spider webs everywhere. You might even be able to find chipmunk holes or maybe snake holes, things like that. And then take that magnifying glass and go, let's go examine this ant hill. This is the hole that they come in and out of. Here's all the dirt that they dug up. Check out different materials that birds' nests are made of, things like that. And then another math activity that I wanted to mention is matching. And so you can make all of these animal homes and set them all out without their animals. And so then ask them to, you know, and then lay out, of course, the different animals and ask them, where does a bee live? Which one is their home? And then have them match it, and then, you know, continue on and on. And so that is some of the activities. You'll be able to look more detail about the discussion questions or some other free play activities that you can build on. But that's all I have. Anything else that you want to add, Cinnamon?
No, but you had some really great ideas. I enjoyed them.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. They were really fun to make. And so that's it for this week. We will see you next week. We'll be continuing with animals, creepy crawlers. Thank you.